Yeah, no, welcome back, ladies and gents that listen to the podcast. White Noise with your boy Eric and Zach and Rick. We have some nice talking points here, and I'm talking like Barry. And
Dude, I tell you what, White Noise with the boys has a nice ring to it. Just that rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? I don't know why we've never said that.
well, there we go. Debuted it right here, right now. But it also sounds mighty white, and it might be allowing people to draw the wrong conclusions if they're listening to this for the first time. So just want to let you know
White
if you
Noise
are
with
listening
the
to the first time.
brotherhood.
Yeah, this is.
No, you don't like that one? Okay.
Well, you know, connotation and whatnot. But no, we got a good show here, I think, in the works. We got some talking points, some breaking news. I think that, I guess, the Pope died, so we got that going for you. We'll talk about that more later. Pete Hegseth, WhiskeyLeaks Part 2. If you haven't heard, we had an episode earlier in the year about WhiskeyLeaks Part 1, about the Yemen plans. Go check that out if you haven't. But he did it again, ladies and gentlemen. He leaked plans to his wife and brother about United States military secrets. You know, what are we going to do with this guy? What's going on? And I know, Zach, you might have the information, so lead us off here.
Yeah. Again, we were talking before the podcast. I don't know if there's a lot to know yet about it because I have only read about this over the last few hours. Um, Already has produced potentially my favorite meme of the year. I think we should have a meme of the year award. It's the the picture of the dude telling George W. Bush that a second tower has been, they hit the second tower.
Yeah.
It's that, but they photoshopped in Pete Hegseth and Trump. They're talking about, sir, a second set of military plans has been leaked on Signal. But he managed to do it again, ladies and gentlemen. So if I had a nickel for every time we leak top secret plans to the public, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. This one was, to his wife and his brother in a different, apparently they have a Signal chat, or I guess they must all use Signal. And I don't know if this was related to the Yemen leak or if it was a different leak. Like I said, when I was reading about it recently, there wasn't a lot there yet. The biggest fallout from it is that there is a rumor that they might be looking to replace Mr. Hegseth, which I guess I don't know how you want to look at that as a good or bad thing. Obviously, he is just entirely ill-equipped for the job and just woefully fucking overemployed in this position. At the same time, like maybe having someone in there who isn't just gonna text someone in Russia like, "You up, Queen? Wanna bomb Yemen, RN?" Like question mark, eggplant emoji, fucking squirting emoji. Like the fuckers, like, how do you? I don't know, dude. It's the fact that we're fucking this up. Like everyone should have seen this coming. We hired a drunk dude from Fox and Friends on Saturday mornings to run one of the most complex and like secretive organizations in the government with like the biggest budget in the government. So yeah,
He's used to having to be sober on the weekend and drunk during the week.
maybe he's adjusting to the new work schedule. Like, before he had all week to drink, 'cause he was just on Fox and Friends on the weekends, and now he's got to actually like do stuff. Like
I just want to say that, in my previous job in human resources, I was very much made aware that I was in charge of sending extremely sensitive information that I needed to personally crop out and understand who was on each email that was receiving said information about, employees' wages and things like that. And I was basically threatened my job every single time that I would send that out. Like, hey, if you screw this up, like this will be a good enough excuse to fire you. And I did mess it up once. But long story short, basically what happened was Eric was learning about macros in a Excel spreadsheet, and he left all the information on there instead of deleting the important stuff, like how much the plant director makes. So what happened was I sent that out to all the supervisors, senior supervisors, and things like that to this plant that I worked at. And then one of the nicer supervisors came over and said, "Hey, Eric, you know that macro I helped you build the other day? Yeah, that had all that information on it. So," and I was like, "Oh shit, let me go tell my boss real quick and let's get this thing figured out," because I was like, okay, I'm fired. Like, this is it. This is what they were threatening me with. So my boss helps me figure it out. We send another email. People don't really read the second email if you send read the first email if you send a second email. But I just wanted to bring this up because of how like almost minimal it seems that I would lose my job for something like this. And you have a fellow like Pete Hegseth, who's leaking military plans to his wife and brother, and to a journalist and things like that. And it seemingly is not going to go the same direction that we all think it should. Or now, I guess the second time it happens, it might. Why aren't like the megas, that group more upset about this and calling for his head? This is such a big deal all the time, no matter what. And if the roles were reversed, the dude would be fired within a week.
He should have been gone after the first one. There's a lot of questions to ask, and I think you bring up a lot of good points. To the MAGA thing, they're in deeper this time than they were at Trump 1.0. I think the level of mental gymnastics is far greater this time than it was last time, just based on like what I've seen and heard from them.
Yeah.
They got better at this shit. Not better in the sense that like they actually come to real logical like conclusions, just better at like weaving just the most fucked up story you've ever heard. But man, I tell you what, like, yeah, if this happened under Biden, Obama, whatever, it would have been an absolute bloodbath. Someone likely would have gotten fired. And I also want to know why we're making military plans again with the group chat. And is this a case where you just like he shoots a text over them like, LOL, made plans to bomb Yemen again at work today, LOL. Like what was the nature of it? Or did he, instead of adding, all the appropriate, high ranking individuals in the Department of Defense, he just accidentally like, adds his brother, his wife, whoever, and all of a sudden his wife and brother are at their respective jobs getting a text talking about like Yemen strike F-18, 11:44 a.m., blah, 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 like all just like last time. I'm curious to what that ends up looking like.
I am such one big important guy. Look at me, brother and wife.
I was gonna say, it almost seems like look what I'm doing. Like look at what I do for my job. It's almost like take your family to a virtual work day, and you get to tell them, hey, I get to touch missiles. I get to look at things that look like peepees all day long that go boom boom in other countries if I decide to. So
check and look how easy it is for me to make war plans in a different country that I don't like. God, what a fucking disaster.
It's that easy. Yeah, they let me do anything. War is not hard, everybody.
Look how easy. I've played Risk, okay? And I almost won. Pretty good.
Yeah, fucking no kidding. Jesus Christ.
Dude, we handed the keys over to the most degenerate group of individuals possible, and we are letting them win. Like, I need to point out to, like, everyone who listens to this, whether you realize it or not, like, we let them win. So there's a greater discussion to be had here that, like, this was the one that most people wanted. Now, I know, again, I've pointed out many times on this podcast, most people read it about the level of an 11-year-old. God, like, fuck, man, this is a slam dunk firing. It's the equivalent of if you, Eric, had, like, in one of those messages, one of those emails, just, like, took everyone's, like HIPAA information and just like sent it, like just send to my entire goddamn address book in Outlook.
Facebook post.
Yeah. I'm just gonna. Here's everyone's diseases at my place of work. Here's all the diseases they have.
Isn't it gross? ... Ew. Hashtag Mondays.
It's just like you post on LinkedIn, like, LOL, Barbara in accounting has herpes. Hashtag gross. Hashtag like whatever.
Tag your girlfriend in it.
Hashtag could be worse. Yeah.
Hashtag slut.
Yeah. Well, that's the exact thing. Like if this was any, well, it's almost like we apply this kind of this kind of scenario across anything. Like if that were me, if I was in charge of a company that committed a bunch of fraud, we'd go to jail. It doesn't seem to happen for a bunch of billionaires. In this case, if we were to leak sensitive information about the United States military, we'd probably get fired. In my case, I leak information about employees I had a stern talking to, and I never made that same mistake again. But if I did, I probably would have lost my job. So it's like,
Do you think Hegseth got a stern talking to?
No, of course not. Trump probably just like, what does that mean?
You still willing to
What
suck
is
my dick?
signal?
He's good.
What's
Dude, Trump
signal?
never figured out what the hell they were talking about last time. He was just like, I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Signal probably doesn't work. Like, he just hand waves it away. I don't know.
Yeah.
The
It
app
must,
Yeah,
that
sometimes
normally
I get a
uses
bad
broken.
signal.
yeah.
Well, it's because you live far away, Rick.
Yeah,
It's
wood
the
boy.
corn. The corn gets in the fucking way.
Ah, shit.
So is Signal like the national sponsor of the Trump administration, just like Bud Light is to the National Football League?
Dude, Signal needs to start doing commercials at
Yeah.
this point.
You want your
Like
shit known?
some Yeah, do you want to leak war plans with a "you up" text? Are you trying to text your mistress to see if they want to get down, but instead you accidentally tell them that we're bombing Iran with F-18s? Use Signal. Yeah, sponsor the podcast. Signal. We'll
Yeah.
start using Signal. I've never
Start
used it.
doing
I don't know.
whiskey commercials.
Yeah, they got to like them and Jack Daniels got to hook up.
Well, I mean, hopefully we see, the right thing. Okay, so what would your guys' reaction be if he did lose his job and Trump did appoint somebody else that was more competent than the average bear? Like, would you say, okay, that restores anything to this administration? Like what would
Well,
that do for you guys?
Well, what do you mean by more competent? I want to put a guard. What do you mean by like more competent in the sense that like they will run the Department of Defense like with a lawful like measured hand, or more competent in the sense of like they're smarter but they're still like a shitty fascist?
I would
Yeah,
say
they still
smarter, but still shitty.
they're gonna be just better at hiding their evil.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, they're and that's kind of where I'm at. Like, they're just going to disguise it as like somebody who's like I said, competent to the point of like being a competent evil person, whereas Hegseth is just stupid in every direction. I mean, you know what I mean? Fox and Friends didn't do him well, so no. So I guess I just mean like basically the accountability aspect. If we see that happen in any version of Trump form, what would your guys' reaction be?
If they're better at being evil, I would say that would be a net negative. I don't know.
I agree.
I'm torn, right? I'm torn because if they are better at running the department and we're not just gonna go to, I don't know, dude. It's hard because like I don't want to just go to war with people, but if this guy is better at going to war with people, that's still whatever. Even if he runs that in a reasonable way, I still don't know if that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Um, it's such a seesaw of things with the Department of Defense. I think even when we have a reasonable administration in there, so it's hard to say. I mean, from an accountability standpoint, I don't know. Maybe you gain a point, but you're already behind a billion fucking points. Like, like it's a drop in the fucking ocean, but it's a drop in the ocean on that planet they found like light years away. That's like fucking 12 Earths big.
Gleese.
Like it's one of those. Like it is completely inconsequential at this point. I'd like to see Pete Hegseth go, but again, like yeah, the risk is what if they get someone who is more dangerous? That's what I'd be worried about. So
Yeah.
fuck, I don't know.
I'll make
Hard to
I'll
say.
make this easier on you, Zach, so you're not torn. Zach is sorry.
Oh, that's me.
Trump is not gonna be one to hire somebody that is better at stuff. The only thing he'll hire them on that's better is how better they are at kissing his ass. Like it's not
Yeah,
it's
that's
not a
true.
merit based fucking anything with that guy. So he's gonna hire someone who is at least on par with kissing his ass as Hegseth, if not better.
Yeah, that's you know what we should do? You know what would gain them points for me is if we just did like The Apprentice, but for the Department of Defense position. Like to replace Pete Hegseth, but Trump just runs The Apprentice like from the Oval Office again.
Oh
Jesus.
God.
Good God.
Like, dude, if this is gonna be the downfall of the American experiment, like let's just get some fucking entertainment out of this shit, right? Like I want to at least like go down chuckling. What the fuck?
You're fired. Yeah. In a way, Trump, you kind of sidestep here a little bit, but like Trump has always talked about ratings and things like that. Do you think it is his own kind of personal goal to be like go down as the most like watched president, the most like kept up with president in history, if that makes sense? Like he is a ratings, like let's be honest here. Like we do
Yeah.
tune in. I've never tuned into a Biden address the fucking whatever, my fellow American speech. Whereas Trump does he even have those? I couldn't even imagine. I haven't even watched it, but like any speech Trump does have, I feel like I am present for, and I'm like there to take notes, to be like, okay, what is changing now? How am I going to lose a right here? So, I should say, how are women going to lose rights here? If you're a straight white fella,
we're white guys. We're good.
You're in pretty good shape there. Yeah, no, but so do you think like that's his own kind of like his ego also? Almost like RFK's worm in his head, like kind of controlling him. Do you think Trump's ego is, in a way, kind of worming his way through?
Dude, that is his biggest motivator. Look how butthurt he got when Kamala pointed out his crowd size at the previous inauguration.
Sure,
dude,
that fucking riled him up so hard. That's all I could think about. He couldn't fucking focus on the question he was asked.
That is true.
That should have elected her right there. And it's so like watching that clip now is like you see like kind of the grin form across her face when she starts saying this. And everyone who is paying any attention realized like she kind of sidestepped the question and wanted to set this up because she knew it was a fucking like serious like just goddamn like bunker buster of a fucking missile right to this whole thing. And oh my god, like he took the bait so hard. It was fantastic.
And she didn't leak any plans about that bunker buster either.
Yeah.
No, there was no signal chat there, dude. Fuck, nobody saw that bitch coming. My thing is like, I'm starting to think that he, with his ratings, it's the same thing as Elon wanting to be liked by gamers so bad. Is like, there's no fucking way Trump had any friends growing up, and there's no way Elon did either. And this is why these old men want to be liked by people now. And so it's not about the ratings in terms of like my ratings are higher in like an absolute sense, like number bigger. It's these people like me more. Like, right? That's why when he words certain things, he'll make it talk about, oh, nobody liked Biden. They like me. They like what I'm doing. Right. So I think he just wants some fucking friends because everyone around him right now, they just want power. And Trump's got the power, and Trump is willing to give power if you fucking suck his nuts hard enough. So he wants friends. He doesn't have any fucking friends. His best friend Jeffrey Epstein was unalived in prison. He quote unquote hung himself, which no, he fucking didn't. So his only friend is dead, and he can't go to him to rape kids anymore. So he's probably sad.
Yeah, that's another thing that he promised to release, right? Those files, and we have yet to.
Yeah,
I don't think they've been
Still
released.
Nothing.
Yeah,
he did heavily redacted.
Well, yeah, they released basically all the shit everyone already knew,
right?
Because there was certain whatever that was, but
Donald J was on the plane with just blanked out. Anyway, yeah, man. Speaking of that fucking tub of shit, his physical was released. Did you guys see that? Did you see all the comparisons?
For fuck's sake, dude.
Dude, did we? Okay, there's a line in this that we got to read. Okay. There's a line in this we got to read before we get in too deep, and it's at the very end. The summary. Summary. I got to find it. So normally, this is a report of the goddamn health of the president. Not often do you see lines such as, here it is. President Trump's days include participation in multiple meetings, public appearances, press availability, and frequent victories in golf events. Not only is he just doing golf, he's winning. And they had to specify that he's winning.
This doctor isn't a kiss ass right out of the gate.
I was going to say, it seems a little biased.
God. And also, like, no, he's not winning. It's Kim Jong-un all over again. Oh, I golfed a perfect game, hole in one in 18 holes, and then I just decided I don't really like golf anymore, so I'm never going to do it. Like, there's probably a reason we never see Trump playing golf. And when we do, like, it's bad. I don't play golf, and it looks bad. It looks like Charles Barkley's fucking swing. If none of you know what Charles Barkley's golf swing looks like, dude, that shit is fucking horrific. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen. Chuck cannot golf.
Who the fuck believes that walking pile of butterscotch pudding is capable of swinging a golf club and beating people that are so much better shape than he is?
Yeah. No, first of all, don't put down butterscotch pudding. That shit's the bomb. And secondly,
that shit underrated.
Strictly going off of looks.
Well, yeah, it does. If you put it in a bag, if you filled a plastic bag with butterscotch pudding, which also, by the way, should we just run down this bitch? Should we run down the vitals right now?
Yeah.
All right, because I got to point something else out here that I kind of forgot about. So we have a Donald Trump, 78 years, 10 months old, 75 inches tall, which puts him at what, 6'3"?
Yeah.
6'3". weight 224 pounds. So you know who
Bullshit.
else is about that size? DK Metcalf.
CJ Stroud.
One of some of the freakiest athletes. And I know we did this in Trump 1.0. We compared him to like fucking Tom Brady and shit. But the comparison to DK Metcalf really grabbed me because like DK is one of the freakiest players in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
If you're not a football fan, go look him up. He's an absolute fucking freak, and apparently he does all of this freaky shit on like 2 coffees and a bag of gummy worms every day. I don't
Yep.
I don't fucking get it. He does some of the most insane shit as a receiver I've ever seen. So that's also Donald Trump. Which, dude, if you believe he's 224 pounds, I got a fucking bridge to sell you. That boy's
Dude.
north of fucking 3. He's
Dude.
north of 3.
Yeah.
I'd bet everything I own on it.
He weighs, according to that, he weighs less than I do, and he's the same height.
Yeah, you better get in shape, Rick.
Bull fucking shit. That is that I take that as an insult.
I don't see you playing. You're not winning any golf games. Get the fuck out of here.
No,
You're not the athlete that our fucking commander in chief is, Rick.
but how is that? Okay, so how is that like legal and allowed to like?
Oh my God.
They stressed when Biden was in office, like, hey, we need to release his records or whatever. They need to be accurate, and that motherfucker didn't lie. They knew there was shit like going on, but like all of a sudden we get this guy and they Kim Jong-un all over it,
Right.
and where are we? Like, why is that okay now? And how are fucking people on the goddamn right who supported this cocksucker still thinking like, that's right, that's always right, he's the guy, he's that guy that AI makes into a lion, and he's a fucking
gladiator.
Yeah, he's Saint Michael coming down from Jesus's nuts. Fucking, oh my God, dude, that shit pisses me off because old ladies believe that. They think that's his origin story. All those boomers out there that no offense, but maybe the over boomers, the golden generation, whatever the fuck you are.
The silent generation.
Yeah, that one.
Dude, they're not using computers. Well, yeah, most of them are not using. They're busy like being racist to people in nursing homes.
Yeah, making that face we all see at Chinese restaurants. Yeah, no, I think it's bullshit, right? We all know it, but why are we buying it? Why is that allowed to be sold, I should say?
It seems to be the way, dude. This is the way of Cult 45, dude. I mean, we saw, like, we don't have it on here to discuss really, but we saw they released a web page, covid.gov, which is just propaganda that basically just says, yeah, everything Trump said is true. You know, it's all this insane shit, you know, burying Dr. Fauci and all these things and saying the vaccination will fucking, you know, whatever, you'll grow dicks on your forehead or whatever. Insane shit. We also saw at, what department? Not the CDC, somewhere else. Kevin Hall, an incredible nutrition researcher, NIH, from the NIH, retired after 21 years because they were trying to filter his research and his findings through the lens of this administration. So he quit. And he is like, if you are in the nutrition space, the health space, whatever, you don't know who Kevin Hall is, you need to fucking read. Like, dude was the guy that basically solidified, like, yes, it's calories in versus calories out. This dude did tons of research, again, 21 years on on ultra processed foods and things like that. So the fact that they are filtering things is concerning. And I have to believe that if they're filtering, like Kevin Hall's research and things like that, for example, I have to believe that they are filtering this through something, because I don't think they just found a doctor that will say nice things. Or I'd find that hard to believe. But maybe they did. It's either that or it's being filtered through something.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. It blows my mind what version of America we're living in. Growing up and reading how shitty things were, and learning about our checkered history and getting to a point of where we're still being tolerant and things like that, around 2012 time, things like that, gay marriage and all that. And all of a sudden, just to have this fucking this blimp fucking ruin this, and then change the landscape of America, not only in politics but the way we see truth and identify with one another as Americans. It's very frightening. And obviously, I'm not saying anything we haven't already talked about 90 million times on this podcast. I just want to say, at what point in time can the goddamn people that voted for him sit beside themselves and say, this isn't right. At what
When
point
they're
in time?
affected directly.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to take.
But that's not the thing. Is Donnie T is not going to let that happen until the very end. Probably he's going to keep his people close. He's going to make sure that he's going to get those votes until he finally can. For Christ's sake, the third term talk is becoming too normal of a question that the press is asking. It's becoming too normal that they're asking. So are you planning on running?
Normalization is dangerous.
It's like, what are we doing? What do you mean? Why are you asking?
And they float it as if it's a possibility.
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. So it's one man did this, really, and then he had enough charisma and I guess grit or whatever you want to say to just keep fucking grinding away at this goddamn ideology that he has, and it's working, and it's scary.
Like the problem is, and you guys know this probably even better than I do, because you like have relatives and you have people you talk to within your family that are a little more that are leaning that way more. I don't talk to my family that are like that anymore. But it's the fact that facts are not fact, right? The fact that Donald Trump can stand up there and say, "Oh, the economy was so bad under Joe Biden," and they all go, "Yes, it was so bad." And so if you talk to any MAGA person, they talk about, "Oh my God, the last four, it was so fucking bad. No one had a job. No one had the economy was in the shitter, like blah, blah, blah." And you can present as many numbers as you want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't matter that the stock market today, as we're recording this on the 21st, crashed over 1,000 fucking points. The Dow went down 1,000 fucking more points today. Right. Like we are almost erasing, like we've erased the last calendar year, I think, of gains at this point. I'd have to double check, but we've erased a shitload.
Yep.
But so it doesn't matter. I mean, a fact to us, to three people who actually look and read and try to verify and look for numbers and data, it's not a thing to them. So it's
this,
what do you do?
This kind of reminds me of an interaction I had with a family member recently, which was
what's their name and address? Just kidding.
Anonymous. So
1, 2, 3, fuck yourself drive.
So we kind of got into talking, and he this individual is a investor in the stock market, and he was telling me how close he was to being a millionaire, right? He was so close, and then the fucking drop happened, and he's convinced himself that, the market needed a reset anyway. It's like, dude, you just admitted that you were doing better under Biden because you were almost a millionaire, right? Yeah. That's how well you were doing, like just with your retired money, like no putting more in, it's just making the investments and seeing it grow. And now you're not almost a millionaire anymore. And you still think you're better off now than you were. I honestly didn't know what the fuck to say about that. Like, I didn't know what to say to him. Like, I can't reason with you. You're in an objectively worse place.
Now I don't.
Yeah. Isn't this great? I'm happy that this is happening personally. This is awesome.
A lot of people in that situation I've seen in comment sections and things like that, whenever it has to do with like how the stock market's doing and how the economy's doing, it's all a part of the plan. It's like, dude, you're doing exactly what he wants you to do. There's this plan. He's Jesus Christ. He has this all-knowing plan. He created it in his image. It's all going to be a golden era. Dude, no, not for you, motherfucker. You're going to be suffering, and you're never going to see that money again. And especially the guy that I know you were talking to, Rick, probably won't ever see that money again in his life.
No. Do you know what the plan is? Do you know what that big master plan is? Trump is shoveling more of your retirement into his fucking pockets because he's buying the dip because he knows when that dip's going to be over. And he's telling all of his rich buddies to do it. And he's not telling you.
Look what he did before. He had all these fuckers in the Oval Office talking about, he made $900 million today. That's pretty good, huh? Yeah,
right.
Because you told your followers on fucking Troth Central to fucking buy. And then like 20 minutes later, you fucking said, tariffs are over. And you know that those are magic fucking words for the stock market. Yep. At least for a temporary bump. Like it blows my mind how quickly these fucking people went from, stock market has to go up, unemployment has to, like all these numbers have to get better to, well, no, temporary pain is fine. It's fine. Temporary pain is fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
that's weird because
I don't get it.
Yeah. It's weird because we weren't under any pain really under Biden. Like, I don't remember this kind of shit happening when Biden was president. I could sleep at night. I wasn't fucking worried. I didn't have to listen to hang on his every word. I didn't have to worry about loyalty tests or fucking fake medical bullshit. You know, it was just normal.
Yeah, it was quiet. Quiet. It was nice.
Fucking
Dude,
A, I
my
miss
thing
that.
is just I don't understand. Like there's a business that I follow on Instagram that makes they got their start making like lifting belts, like powerlifting belts, which is why I follow them. I own one of their belts. It's a really good product. But you know, their owner was who, you know, through the account, he doesn't use it as a personal account, but like he does, it's a very small business and he talks through it kind of as a personal account. And he was talking, you know, even he had made the comment, you know, there's something about tariffs, like a post he made about tariffs, and kind of a like, would you guys be in the market for gym equipment or something like that was kind of the question. To which I said, I'm not going to be in the market for anything because I'm not going to have any money if this fucking happens. So no. But he, you know, even he was chatting with some of the people in the comment section, talking about like, yeah, I think, you know, whatever, it's supposed to be like a short term pain for a long term gain type of thing. And I'm like, dude, I know that like this guy does source a lot of his stuff in America, and that's fine and that's great. And I know he uses like whatever local workers, all this shit. It's all great. And I don't want anything to happen to his company. But at the same time, like, dude, there's no way you don't import anything because you're expanded beyond just like sourcing leather from down the road.
Right.
And also, like, people need to be able to afford your product. And you have a particularly niche product that's a little bit more expensive because it's a higher quality, of course. But, like, you might not survive the short term pain. So then, what long term gain, you know, the business that you built over the last, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years is gone. What's plan B for when you
Right.
don't survive the pain? And you have to rebuild now. So now, when everyone's not in pain, like, let's pretend this does work, which it won't, and people are suddenly not in pain. Well, if you got butt fucked for a decade, where like what does it matter now? You
Right.
know, you have
Show
to
me your
rebuild from
gains.
nothing. Yeah, exactly. I mean, here's the thing, we talked about it before. I'm concerned that I will spend my 40s in this pain and then I'll have to spend my 50s trying to retire by the time I'm fucking 60 and I will never see this glorious beautiful life that America promised me.
Right.
So that's pretty fucking cool of this dipshit, you know, Trump, who will die in 4 fucking years. Like, I don't know, dude. All these people are going to be gone. Great, good. You died richer. Congratulations, man.
Yep. All it cost was everyone else's retirement.
Some of you may die, and that's a risk I'm willing to take.
Yeah. Speaking of
Anyway,
dying,
speaking, yeah, you want to try and handle that one, Eric? You want to try and take that segue to the bank?
Yeah, let's try it here.
Speaking of death and dying, the
Speaking
infinite
of
void we all face.
Yeah, speaking of voids and brain void callback. No,
Shout
uh,
out.
some people consider the toilet a void, and back in 2020, Donald Trump's complained that he. Yeah, I got nothing on this one, fellas.
Let him cook.
So here's the next thing we're going to talk about. What does the EO stand for, Zach? I'm sorry.
Executive order.
There we
Yeah,
go.
he
All
signed
right.
an executive order removing a Biden era restriction on water pressure, continuing his war on water pressure. The more astute among you will remember when he complained that people are flushing the toilet 10 to 15 times because there's no water pressure.
dude,
Um, I
that's
think that
just
should have been in
because
this
of his
medical report.
that's just because of his McDonald's shits.
Well, when you're taking dumps like that, and then you're, you know, trying to flush classified documents down the toilet in Mar-a-Lago, I think what this EO kind of does is, so I know more about indoor plumbing now than I ever wanted to. So the restriction is on basically, so if I have one shower head, I have a 2.5 gallon per minute limit of flow on that shower head. I think was the old number. But that would get divided. So if you have a shower with like 6 heads, you'd divide it 6 different ways, right? It wasn't each head could have 2.5 gallons, and that is now removed. So and Trump, you can find clips. I think David Pakman's show had a bunch of clips where this motherfucker is talking about it takes him 15 minutes to wet his hair, and he gets in the shower just quiet, just drip drip drip. You know, there's no water. You can't. You know, it takes me forever. It takes me hours to shower, and blah blah blah. And you know, I get in and all this stuff. What I think he wants, first of all, he needs to get his asshole checked out. That wasn't in the medical report. That dude's got problem with his fucking rear end. Like can't. I have had to flush twice, like once in my life. So I don't know what the fuck. 10 times, bro. I'm fucking astounded.
I
But
know
Well,
a
that's
guy.
record shit.
it's a week's worth of shit because he only shits once a week.
Yeah,
And it's
the
all
lack of
McDonald's and
fiber, I
Diet
guess.
Coke.
Well, RFK will fucking help him through that. They'll just go fucking, I don't know, they'll go eat roadkill and then he won't be able to stop shitting probably. But like,
Have you ever seen like a salt block that they have for animals, like livestock? That's what he lays in the fucking toilet.
Just fucking. I think also like with all that spray tan, I think he's mad because he's probably got 17. It's just a car wash, right? Where it like sprays you from all angles. I think he's walking in. There's not enough flow because he's got like 20 shower heads trying to blast all of his fucking spray tan off every night. And he's just like, God, I can't fucking shower in these conditions. Not enough fucking like. Do you need to get sprayed with like a fire hose? Like, what are we? Like,
I was just
don't
gonna
know,
say
man.
that.
I do good. Yeah, like my shower head does fine. I'm clean, dude. Like well, not right now. I just came from the gym, so my fucking taint stinks. But like it's good when I shower. I can clean it. It's all good. Like
Yep.
I mean, like we said, the water even takes care of my feet. Like I said in the last episode, like we're all good.
Your Lamborghinis.
Yeah, my fucking Lamborghinis are fucking they're squeaky clean, dude. Them bitches are ready to fucking run. We had some technical difficulties, folk. Little peek behind the curtain. We are all fucking stupid.
By we, he
We're all,
means me.
yeah, by
Analog.
we, I mean the fucking host and owner and designer and builder of this podcast.
I bumped my mic with my hog.
Jeez, I didn't even want to be on this podcast. Rick convinced me by asking me, and I just said yes immediately.
Yeah. I was just confused. Eric waving his hog around his mic.
Like,
we can't hear you.
You guys said fire hose earlier, so I got excited.
Well, yeah, I understand. You got to unroll it and show off. Jesus.
Fruit by the inch. All right, Lamborghinis.
Yeah. I mean, anyway, yeah, now you can wash it because there's no war on water pressure anymore. I guess you can hose that fucking hog down to your heart's content with 150 gallons per minute of fucking water or whatever the shit the new requirement is.
You put a jet on the bottom of your shower and just ride on it like in those cartoons.
Well, yeah, you just like sit on it and just like you just hover because it's just a fucking geyser.
Yeah.
Just stick Old Faithful, like that would be kind of fun, but like it would go off on a random timer. So like you'd be taking a shower and then randomly just get blasted right up your fucking taint. It adds some excitement. It adds some excitement to the mix, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of
That's
showers,
what I think.
have you guys seen those dual shower heads where they have like one bar coming down and it's like for two people in the shower?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's pretty cool.
dude, I want the big center one. Dude, okay, that would have been a game changer because I tell you what, like a little peek behind the curtain. My wife and I used to make the beast with two backs, if you will. But in the shower, it was really fucking cold, and sometimes I would just want to take a regular shower in there. But I wouldn't get like I'd be like, "Can you hand me my soap?" And she'd be like, "Yeah, fine. Yeah, give me my soap." I'm like, "All right." And I'm like all covered in soap and like
Yeah.
whatever. I'm all clean. I'm
Cold.
like, "Can I fuck?" Yeah, I'm like fucking shivering. I'm like, "Can I like fucking not be here? Can you take like less than 45 minutes to wash your fucking hair? Like, fuck are we doing here, bud?" So yeah. Yeah, that would have been a real game changer. I want the big center one. I want the big center like waterfall one. So it
Oh,
feels
yes.
like I'm on waterfall. And I'll
yeah.
listen to that TLC song about like chasing waterfalls that I thought was a song about a guy named Jason Waterfalls for a long time when I was a kid. Which is a pretty cool name. So
Plural.
yeah, multiple waterfalls.
Plural waterfalls, not just the
Jason,
one.
from Jason. Yeah, man. So
Jason
if your name is
Waterfalls.
if your name is Jason Waterfalls, you can email the podcast at thewhitestpod@gmail.com.
And we would love to have you on and have that conversation.
I
Yeah.
have a lot of questions.
Ask your parents what the fuck.
Oh my god. All right.
Oh, I got-
Well, this is going to be a hard segue into a dark, dirty alley of a topic, but
Normally, I like the dark, dirty alleyways.
this one's going to be a little sad. So
They lead to Perkins.
where they typically probably
Indeed.
don't have the best shower or plumbing is
It's in Seapot. Holy shit!
yeah.
You're correct, Eric. I don't think they get a shower in
Is it called
Seapot.
Seapot?
CCOT.
CCOT.
It's a
Jesus.
Hispanic like thing for something. I don't know the actual words because I'm not from El Salvador, um, but yeah, that's where we've been sending everyone.
It's not the Epcot.
Even
Yeah, no, Epcot was fun.
we've been sending people there, even if they don't match the guidelines in which Trump said they should be being sent there. Not even saying that those
Yeah,
guidelines are like good or that they should be in place, but like
Or
those
legal.
guidelines that he put the parameters out there for, outliers are still getting sent there by accident and then aren't being pursued by their own government to get them back here. And in a specific case, we got that Abrego Garcia fella,
the dude
who's
from Maryland. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a thing. Like the one thing too. So yeah, we have the Kilmar Albrego Garcia story, which obviously like we'll get into. Did you guys see like he is fucking alive?
Yes.
Like oh yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, and that's kind of late news. It's not really breaking news, but like the fucking weight that came off my shoulders to know that that guy is alive. Holy fuck.
yeah,
But but yeah, no, like you're absolutely right. Like this started as we're going to deport all the criminals, which I don't think anyone can necessarily disagree with. Look, if you arrest someone and they've like murdered people and they are from somewhere else, I guess ship them out. Like, I mean, do whatever the law says internationally, you know, to like make sure they are appropriately punished for their crimes. But also, like, sure, get them. I don't think anyone would oppose making them leave. But most of the people that have been getting kicked out, well, we don't even know because they're not even getting due process. First of all, and second of all, they're guys like Abrego Garcia who are just guys who happen to be from fucking El Salvador, unfortunately, you know,
Right.
or I think there are some who aren't even from El Salvador that are just shipped off there now because now we have a contract with their fucking president, who is a
Yep.
piece of shit.
So he can run fucking labor gulag for us. So here's the thing that about what Eric said. You know, Trump had guidelines or whatever, and saying that he was going to deport all these criminals, and he was making mistakes. You know what would make this not have mistakes is fucking due process. That's what the due process is for. So you can process and make sure you're getting it right before you fucking ship people away. Not even if. Secondly, like that's not fucking legal even after due process. You don't just get to ship people out of the fucking country like that are
The
U.S.
legality
citizens.
of Well, the legality of that is being investigated now. So I mean that's I don't think that's ever been tested before necessarily. Like to
Yeah,
my knowledge, you know, whether or not we can just deport citizens. I imagine though we probably can't. Or at the
right.
very least, we're not fucking supposed to because it's not morally correct or morally good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like you can't do that though.
I'm also like I'm fairly yeah, I'm fairly certain. I mean, especially like the idea that you'd be able to ship someone out of the country to a country they don't live in. Like even like let's say they're not a
Right.
US citizen and they're from Mexico. I don't think you can be like, "Well, this plane isn't stopping in Mexico, but it is stopping in fucking Brazil. So you're getting off in Brazil, fuck you." Like I don't
Yeah,
think you can do that either, which is
that
kind
doesn't
of what we're
even.
doing just in the worst way.
Yeah, that doesn't even fit in the definition of deportation because to deport someone, you would bring them back to their country of origin. It's not just rounding everyone up and sending them to one country that agrees to take them and beat the shit out of them.
yeah. At that point, you're just kidnapping people and then
Yeah,
bringing them somewhere, and then having somebody where it's not illegal in your country to beat, like you said, Rick, like,
yeah,
just do their deed for you, so you can get away with it on paper. Like, no,
yeah,
you're still responsible for that. You're still socially responsible for that. The happenings that are happening there. So,
yeah. Here's another fun fact for any megas that are listening. Auschwitz
If you
wasn't in
made it this far.
Germany.
Yep. Auschwitz was in Poland.
Yes. So,
and if
seeing
you
any
haven't,
similarities yet? Anything at all? Is that ringing a bell? Is there a bell there to ring? Like I don't.
When we edit this, we're gonna have to insert about 45 minutes of silence there for them to get their two brain cells charged up.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute.
I was going to say that it's going to take some time for people to realize, well, why is he? What does that have to do with anything? Yeah, if that takes more than 5 seconds to think about, then I think you might be too far gone at this point, and I don't know what to say to you because you're seeing it right in front of you. I mean, this has been something that we've been talking about since fucking January 20th. Like, this was going to happen. We knew this was going to happen. It's going to continue to happen. It's going to continue to happen with people that aren't in that, like I said, in those parameters. It's going to just, and then they're just going to shrug and be like, oh, and it's all part of their underlying plan. Like, again, like Zach says, I don't want to be wearing a tinfoil hat here, but Jesus Christ, they're doing it. It's not a
This is one of the
conspiracy
worst
anymore.
fucking I told you so's I've ever kind of had.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm almost willing to bet that the three of us at some point, if not recorded in private conversations, said, I bet they're just going to fucking round him up.
Yeah.
Like, that was the logical conclusion of this fucking rhetoric was, and again, like, I remember when Marco Rubio, that fucking piece of shit, went down there and made that deal with Venezuela to take prisoners. I was like, that's not going to be okay. They're going to take U.S. prisoners. But
Right.
we're not just saying prisoners that are currently in prison or even people that have done a fucking crime.
Right.
Uh,
This
all
is
that
deporting someone, quote unquote, kidnapping and sending them to this place that goes against the Geneva Convention is a war crime.
Yeah.
So Trump's guilty of however many war crimes there is, however many people he sent over, at least that many war crimes.
I say 300, I think was the number we looked at before.
Right. And that's if they just do the one, everyone gets wronged one time, which I'm sure isn't happening.
CCOT itself is a fucking war crime of some. I mean, that is not well. And also, I've seen talk where this could violate. Oh, god damn it! What's the phrasing here? Unjust punishment or whatever, as per the
Cruel and
Constitution.
unusual.
Yeah, cruel and unusual. Jesus Christ, thank you.
Yeah.
This could violate that. Which, you know what? Getting arrested and then sending someone to a different country that they're not from to a fucking like absolute torture prison where you get 30 minutes of fucking highly supervised free time. Yeah, that sounds cruel and unusual considering they arrested Abrego Garcia for being in a car with a bunch of other guys and then they accused him of trafficking humans and then arrested him based on that. And here's the other thing that's kind of scary for me that like I keep thinking about is the Trump administration themselves, in this case, said, whoops, we fucked up. Now, they've definitely fucked up other ones, but this was the one, and I think this is the reason that everyone's talking about this one, is they said, whoops, we fucked up. An administrative error, right? You can go back and find the fucking clips, but they are so unwilling to hold the fucking L that they are running a fucking smear campaign against this man. And they have said that if he comes back into the country somehow, they're going to fucking round him up and deport him again. So they are so incredibly narcissistic and unwilling to say they fucked up that they are going to ruin a man's entire fucking life over it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, this is unfortunately a person from El Salvador. He is a person who is the wrong color on Trump's front yard. But I just want it to be very fucking clear that if we are not careful, this will happen to fucking anyone, including the
Right.
people that fly the fuck Trump flags that I like, that are the fuck Trump bumper stickers that I like, people that are three white guys with microphones that run podcasts that say fuck Trump all the time. It can happen to fucking anyone. If it can
Right.
happen to them and they don't get due process, it can fucking happen to you.
Yep. Without due process, you can be accused of anything and then disappeared. That's
That's it.
what that's for, to keep that from happening, so you can prove who the fuck you are. Like, I can't stress that enough. And I also wanted to say too, on top of what you were saying about Kilmar, is that he jumped through all these fucking hoops. He was here for asylum from El Salvador. He jumped through the hoops that that Trump's first administration set up, and he was doing all of the shit that they required, and they still fucking went after him. Every year he checked in.
There was danger to his life, and he couldn't be deported back.
Right, and they accepted that and said, "Yeah, you can stay here." And then Trump just fucking flipped a switch, and now they're, like you said, they're ruining his fucking life. What's stopping them from doing that to anyone? Literally anyone.
It needs to sink into MAGA, and it's to the point where, like, if I ever have that discussion with someone, like, you're gonna have to walk them through it. Like, okay, I'm gonna call the cops and say you're a criminal right now, because then the logic is, well, I'll tell them I'm not. Okay, you don't think that happened every time these people got arrested for having tattoos of their favorite sports teams? Because that's
Right.
happened. Or having a pride tattoo? That's happened, right? So Kilmar has hand tattoos. and they're trying to say it's MS-13 because it's like a pot leaf, marijuana, a skull. Skull in Spanish doesn't start with a fucking S. You goddamn inbreds. And then the 13 they like kind of made up. There's that fucking. I think I don't know. One of us shared it maybe into the chat somewhere. But regardless, like it's clearly photoshopped to be like, look, this is an MS-13 gang tattoo. It's fucking not. It's
Right.
not. It never was. MS-13 is a Hispanic gang. They're not going to use English fucking letters. Like, you're just fucking making shit up. So the
Right.
fact that we have the government running a smear campaign on a human is terrifying.
Yeah.
Like that is, I think, the part of this that terrifies me the most is the fact that they're willing to like do that to a person.
Yeah, and on top of that, what's her nuts? Blonde hair, blue eyes with the cross that she wears.
Wow.
KKK.
KK Karen. Yeah, she took that
Yeah.
off now because she got made fun of on Saturday Night Live. If you'll notice, she's not wearing a cross anymore. So
I was
Jesus ain't
talking
gonna
about
be
Pam
thrilled about
Bondi,
that.
Oh, Pam
Oh,
Bondi.
Pam Bondi's
the,
also
the
a
other
piece of
one.
shit.
They're both evil.
Pam Bondi looks
Uh,
like I think what's gonna happen to her is she's gonna look more and more skeletal as time goes on because like her fucking soul is leaving her body is what it looks. Every time I see her speak, she looks like more tired and more exhausted because she keeps having to fucking lie for this horrid fucking organization. And I think with all of these people, I have to believe like all of these people, including her, have hit a breaking point like a long time ago, but they've committed to the bit, so they just have to
right.
fucking do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my
Yeah,
life now.
yeah.
Yeah. I was
That's my
just gonna
theory.
say. I was gonna say though too that she released Kilmar the file on him that they have, and it says no evidence of any crime committed or whatever.
Right.
Like that was the link she shared after smearing him and saying he's accusing of trafficking humans or human trafficking. Nothing was in the fucking file. Like she just expected people to just take her word for it. Yeah, here's what this asshole's doing, and it was just nothing. It was nothing. I don't know.
That's what they've been doing. They get up behind that fucking podium in the press room and they just keep saying he's MS-13, he's MS-13, he's MS-13. They just keep saying it. And I mean it's the same thing all the way back, throwback all the way to the beginning of the episode, way before Eric whipped his hog out. Um, talking about how it's being normalized. Like the
Yep.
talk is being normalized. It's just like that third term talk. The press keeps asking about it, and they just keep saying it, and eventually, like everyone just goes, "Okay, well, yeah, that's normal. That's what they." And then normalcy bias kind of says, "Well, yeah, I guess like that's just what they're gonna say. So who the fuck cares? Why even ask?" But
Right.
I think that's where it becomes up to the citizens, right? Like the press can only do so much, even the good outlets, but it's up to us to keep asking, like, hey, why have you not provided any actual proof? A hand
Right.
tattoo doesn't fucking do it. Or if you're Jesse Waters and you're a giant piece of shit and your mom has to call you on your show and tell you to stop being a piece of shit and you continue to be a piece of shit because the money's too good, you say that wearing a Chicago Bulls hat makes you MS-13 because he doesn't live in Chicago. He lives in Maryland. So why would he be a Chicago Bulls fan? Which I'll tell
Dude.
you what, I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And while I'm a diehard Timberwolves fan, and while I love that they're in the playoffs right now, I grew up a fan of Michael Jordan, and the Bulls have a piece of my heart for fucking ever. So I will wear Bulls shit. I've wore Bulls shit as a kid. Was I MS-13 when I was 5 years old? My Bulls jacket? The fuck
Right.
are we doing?
I had a
Jesus
Chicago
fuck.
Bulls hat at fucking 6 years old.
Nope, I'm calling the cops.
Yeah. Oh, I just
MS-13
incriminated
is
myself.
fixed. Yep, you just outed you were a gangbanger at 6 years old. I didn't know you had that past, Rick.
I didn't have any tattoos though yet.
Yeah,
I think.
I know.
Well,
I'm gonna get arrested for mine. Fuck.
I know that I've said this before, and I'll keep saying it because it keeps happening. Like what you just said, Zach. The repetitive nature that of a narrative that they want to spread, like the smear campaign of this fella, and then anything that Trump has ever ran on against his opponents. It's the same thing. The more and more he says it, the less and less that he has to um, reinforce it because people are reinforcing it for him. His mega fucking people are reinforcing it now on the streets for him. It's an everyday conversation. We're talking about it right now, and there's things out there where people are just, like I said, reinforcing this just lie that was told by the administration. And it's just truth, and it's going to be truth forever, because they're too powerful at this point in time to have anybody be like, that's wrong. And because if you do, it'll be, well, you're fake news. You're fake news. You're not welcome in here anymore. It's like,
Or you'll
dude,
be
it's
the next deported.
yeah, and then that's the precedent that they're gonna establish, and then people are gonna stop, speaking out. They're gonna stop hearing the truth. It's gonna be that whatever Trump says is gospel, and
Already is.
we're already there, right? So, but yeah, and then not to
Fucking
mention,
MAGAs are in deep, man.
The only solace I have against that is, in the end, history will not look kindly on these people. The truth will get uncovered. It always does. Especially now. Nothing can be hidden forever. And like, if we lose everything, people will know what
Yeah.
the fuck happened one day. And they will be abhorred for it. They will be that's what history will have for them. They'll get their fucking most well known. They'll be right up there with Hitler.
that's where we're at. That's what I keep telling myself too. Like, yeah, we're on the right side of history objectively. Like anybody looking at, like I said before, 50 years from now, you're looking at a script. It's like, what the hell happened? How do we get here?
Right.
But that's only if there's a script to look back on. That's only if there's a history that can be written by the accurate people, by the truth tellers that are actually truth tellers. So, yeah, speaking of truth tellers, Trump accidentally told the truth.
He gave the plot away.
Yeah, where he said a hot mic caught him saying that telling El Salvador President Bukele, Bukake, he needs to.
Dude, every time I see it, I read the same fucking thing, dude. President Bukaki.
He needs to make room for more men in his room. I mean, he needs to make room for more homegrowns, meaning criminals.
5 more men are next.
Yeah. No, but in all seriousness, Trump was caught on the hot mic saying that he needs to make more room for homegrowns, basically, implying criminals who are U.S. citizens, in El Salvador for, so they can deport them or bring them there, and keep them there in those prisons that are unkind to them. And that was a Hitler-esque moment, if you ask me. And, one of many in the past couple weeks. And I don't know, fellas, it's too real. It's too real.
The terrifying thing for me is like he's openly violating or ignoring court orders, right? And we were kind of, I think, all under the impression where like it's a little bit of an honor system where, okay, if the Supreme Court says, hey, Trump administration, you can't do this thing, that he would stop doing it. But he hasn't done that. So I mean, like the point you brought up earlier about this being, like an unjust form of punishment, that doesn't apply because he's just gonna say, they're already there. I don't give a shit. And and we're clearly cuddled up to this dipshit in El Salvador, this other kind of wannabe fascist. So fuck, man. I think we're cooked if something like that happens, and it's fucked up that it's even being talked about.
The ukulele.
Ukulele.
I just, again, how that isn't. You just know why this isn't raising concerns for people that voted for him, because they're the whites. They're the guys that tuck their t-shirts into their jeans, their acid wash jeans, and fucking go out and sit in a combine for fucking 18 hours a day, which, good job, good for you. That's your job. But God damn it, dude, pull yourself away from that fucking tractor. Pull yourself away from it and look at how serious this can get for you if you disagree with the now dictator that is in America. You could be the one he's referring to. That doesn't just mean different skin colored folks. That means the guy wearing the fucking red hat that voted for him, if at some point in time he decides to disagree with him on a policy that Trump has. That could be you.
All I have to say to those people is look at who was with him on Inauguration Day when it was cold outside. It wasn't you guys. It wasn't the normal, common, everyday folk. It was all of his rich buddies that were in there with him. It was a fucking strict club, and you ain't in it.
Well, I'm scared too, because like I've seen, or on a different podcast I listen to once in a while, like MAGA people don't necessarily care if it happens. I mean, if it happens to them, they're going to care. But like, for example, like if my dad was like full blown MAGA, which he's not, but like he might not give a shit if I got arrested and thrown in a gulag for saying Donald Trump's a piece of shit, right? Like if my free speech was infringed, or if like they hunted down, they listened to the podcast and they hunted us all down. There are certain family members that are MAGA deep for all of us that might not give a shit, and they go, well, that's fucking, I guess that's what you get, and that's fucking horrifying. I don't know what the fuck to do about that. So, yeah, I don't know if it's even it's got to hit them literally directly. It's not about it being a cousin, a brother, or whatever. It's got to hit them directly. But by then it's too fucking late. You're cooked.
It's that poem about the Nazis all over again. It's like they came for such and such, and I didn't speak up because it wasn't for me. And then they came for me. It's like, you guys, that is literally a warning against this shit happening, and you're just not fucking taking it. I don't know.
Yeah, I truly don't understand. Like, and you think of all these people that voted for the right for so long, all the people we've talked to, the people, the family members or the whatever, the strangers on the street that we've talked to, and it's always about rule of law,
Right.
law and order. The
Back to
Constitution
blue.
is what matters, and Joe Biden is wiping his ass with the Constitution, and then this dipshit comes in and literally violates like multiple goddamn amendments to the Bill of Rights, like multiple goddamn things in the Constitution are being violated on like a daily basis, and they just go like, well, he's got to do it because otherwise who else is going to be mean to my Hispanic neighbors?
Right.
It's fucking
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It's okay when he does it, but like that was your thing though, you guys. Like that was the hill you were dying on. Like you can't just move the hill.
Did they finally die on the hill? Is that what it looks like when they actually die on the hill? Like, because I mean, that phrase, whatever, but like, is this what it looks like when they actually die? They just like stop caring on the hill? Like, are they just not giving a shit on the hill anymore? Or do they move? Yeah, they move the hill, or they still on the hill? They're not willing to die for it. So if we tell them to move, they'll just be like, all right, just get out of here, I guess.
This is a stupid hill anyway.
Yeah, it's dumb. I'm going home. I'm gonna go not do a crossword because I can't read and I don't know that many words. It's fucking that shit's hard. They wanted me to find a fucking 5-word letter for fucking Christmas. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know any words that are 5 letters unless it's Jesus Christ.
Speaking of Jesus Christ.
Yes. Speaking right in time, Eric.
Pope.
I fucking laid that one down for you like a turd that needs flushing 15 times.
Good old just killed the Pope Vance. We shouldn't be laughing about that. Guy just died, but that's a funny name for him.
Dude, he was 88 years old. He died of cringe like a true soldier. I assume he died of cringe. There's no way you meet JD Vance and don't die of cringe. Just pure cringe.
It's
whatever makes sense.
It's so poetic that the most evil administration we had shook the hands of the Pope and he just fucking shrivels up and dies the next night.
12 hours later.
I have heard that like the Pope was kind of saying like, hey, you should be nicer to people and shit. And I like to imagine that conversation. It's like, hey, JD, like you're doing horrible things. Jesus, God, like Christianity, we don't like any of what you're doing. This is very bad, and God will judge you. And then 12 hours later, he fucking dies, and JD's just thoughts and prayers. Fuck it. The guy was old as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're an actual Christian person like JD Vance claims to be, and like Trump does too, like if you're like the staunch, oh my God, signs, miracles, this, that, and the other thing, divine intervention, and you go shake the hands of the Pope, and you're the vice president of the United States, and you're doing all this shit with all these people that are affecting so many people, and you shake the hands of the Pope, and he's saying, hey, you gotta. And he does reprimand him. That did happen a little bit, like a light reprimand, and that happens. And the Pope dies the next day. In your heart of hearts, if you're genuinely a Christian and you're thinking of all that shit, you would think, I just saw the ghost of Christmas future. I need to fucking change my goddamn life.
I'm not a Christian, and I would probably think about doing something different if I shake the Pope's hand and he fucking dies. Like, I'm not
Dude.
superstitious, but I'm stitious enough that that's gonna freak me the fuck out.
Yeah. At least like crank hog, at least like bring it down to twice a week. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I hear you, big guy. You know what I mean?
Twice a week, bro. It's
I'll
been
use my
5
left
times a day
hand.
for me.
Fuck.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
won't
what
use
was
the hand that I
holy
shook the
one?
Pope's hand. Yeah, that one's. I'm not washing that one anymore.
Oh, damn.
No, but I will
Dude,
say, yeah. As crude as this sounds, let's just say, rest in peace. He
He was a
probably had.
fairly woke pope. He was still a pope. Still, the Christian church is still kind of piece of shit.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
he was one of the more woke popes. I'm honestly hopeful that like now we're getting popes that weren't born in the 1930s will be the next one, and so maybe we'll get one. Maybe we'll get one with like a Twitter account. That would be kind of fun. You could cyberbully the pope if he does something stupid. I do also think it's funny that JD
Make fun
Vance
of his hair.
tweeted. Yeah, that hat is dumb as shit, bro. But like JD Vance did tweet about like, oh, good prayers for the health of the Pope and things like that. So, JD Vance assassinated the Pope with a tweet
Dude.
or his shitty haircut. I don't know. Have you seen the back of his head? That shit is fucking heinous. He needs a fucking queer eye for the straight guy to fix that shit. I don't know.
Unfortunately, they're all deported.
Yeah.
Fucking deported all the gay
Oh,
barbers.
fuck. Now I'm
Really
sad.
sad.
Yeah.
But no,
Rest in peace to
like,
the Pope, but don't rest in peace to fucking JD Vance. Fuck that guy.
yeah, look, if going back to what Eric or whoever said, if you're a Christian and you see this, this is your sign, man. This is a sign from any higher power out there that
Yeah.
these guys are doing evil shit. They meet the guy who's in charge, who's your conduit to God,
Yeah.
right? He speaks for God on earth, and he fucking dies. I can't stress that enough. He meets the guy who's ruining fucking people's lives, and then he croaks 12 hours later.
Well, he was a liberal sissy.
Oh, jeez, fucking Christ.
Dude, he was old as shit. I'm sure he had health problems, but like, fuck,
He
man.
could have
Yeah,
died 2
the
days later.
timing of that is that too
Yeah.
on the fucking nose? Like,
Right.
jeezless.
I'll tell you this. If I was writing a movie, I would say this is a little on the nose, don't you think?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I'd be like, oh, and then he died 36 hours later. That's what I'll write in my movie or my book,
Yeah.
I write fan fiction about JD Vance and the Pope.
The Earth didn't
you guys
rotate
wanna-
one more time.
Yeah, it didn't
It
even
didn't
make it all the way
one
around.
more rotation, and then he
do it.
fucking dies after meeting JD Vance.
Eyes of
Like,
cringe.
That was enough
fucking-
evil. Yeah. No, it's insane. It's a wild thing to even, like you guys said, it's too on the nose if you're writing a script out there. But goddamn, the documentary in the United States is gonna be fucking fun when this shit burns down to the ground, like Minneapolis is currently doing.
Oh yeah, no, it's still on fire. Yeah, update. I was shot in the head halfway through this podcast. That's why we had to take a break. The crime, and it is on fire. It's beautiful this evening. I forgot what I was gonna fucking say now. I don't know, man. JD Vance killed the Pope. I don't know. I forgot what I was gonna say. He killed the Pope. It's all his fucking fault, and we're all fucked because of it.
And he broke the trophy.
Dude, for his Ohio State Buckeyes, his team from the Ohio State comes in and goes, I'm gonna hold the trophy, and he drops it in half. Fucking all right, slob. Yeah, geez, I want to touch it. JD Vance, you have not played one snap of fucking football in your entire life, and I can see it in your guy liner. Sit down. Stop touching the fucking trophy.
Stop touching people that are important because you killed them.
Yeah.
Oh shit, man. Yeah.
So
that's kind of a high note, I guess.
Yeah, I think it proves a point somewhere. But big ups to the Popes. Hope you get there on a fast lane to the big guy. If that's your thing, I think it's happening right in front of us, guys. Don't hold on. Let me take. It's happening right in front of us. Don't let it become too much for you, even though it is. I know we talk about taking breaks, about talking about some heavy shit sometimes because it makes us sad because it's just right there all the time. And I've been seeing that a lot across the board. So if this if you need to just take some time for yourself out there if you're listening, but also for you guys too that I'm talking to directly. This shit is tough, but it's good that we have this outlet to do it. So I'm thankful for that. But ultimately, don't become disengaged because it's becoming too heavy as well. I want to make that if you guys are listening out there, because this is a time to do it. Like, it's not going to get any easier. Let's just say that until it's over. So, that's what I have to say.
Yeah. Eric's call for people to do it.
Yeah.
Eric needs you to do it, but in a different way than Elon Musk wants you to do it. No, I think that's super appropriate. And I was actually thinking about this after our last episode. That is a little bit pertinent, is like, I think there's a lot of people out there that have stuff to say, politically, like they might have stuff to say in private conversations or whatever it is, or maybe they want to do something like this or whatever. And I thought the same thing. Like when I joined this podcast and when I agreed to do this, I thought, why the fuck would anyone want to listen to me? I'm just some fucking guy. But I think the point is that you're saying it,
Yeah.
right? So like in this situation, the point is that all three of us are saying it. If you need a break, sure, but get out there and just say what's on your mind, because that voice is going to be fucking loud at some point, and we need to get real fucking loud. So, take care of your fucking selves, though. Like Eric said, go take a nap and jerk off or whatever makes you feel happy once in a while. Don't forget that you got to still be alive during this.
Yeah. I was gonna say, don't become fucking that one guy in Idiocracy. When the fucking thing blasts through his house and he's just sitting there laughing at ads. But
to be fair, that show, fucking Getting Kicked in the Nuts or whatever, is a fantastic show. Look, 10 out of 10, I'd watch that shit.
Yeah. But alrighty. Well, thanks everybody for dropping in and listening. We'll have this. It'll be up when it is up. So we'll see you guys later. Thank you again.
Lamborghini.